Oklahoma Panhandle State University is the first and only Hispanic Serving Institution in Oklahoma. We actually got that designation in 2018. We were most recently awarded a Title V grant, which with that grant we'll be able to open up a Hispanic Student Center, and all of these things that we've been doing more informally will become more formal processed, and we'll be able to see a lot more inroads, I guess you could say, in terms of serving our Hispanic students and the community, because we did have that great grant, and it's going to be a great thing to see as we continue to develop and grow those programs. This is again from my mentor, Consuelo Castillo Kickbush, but basically, like I said, teaching them what they need to know about school, teaching them how to advocate for their students, teaching them leadership skills as well, helping them gain some self-confidence in speaking. It's really just the whole gamut of how to be a successful, not just a successful parent, but how to be a successful community member. Because I really believe that once they feel a part of the community, for so many years, they've kind of been just on the edges, not really involved, not engaged. And so once they become more engaged with that community, I believe that all of the student outcomes will increase as well. So.
And if I could add, not only that, but also the parents become more aware as to what their students are doing at the high school and how to get to the college, because either sometimes the communication within the parents and the students isn't as strong as we would like it to be, for whatever reason it is. So the parents are asking us and we give them the information, they tell their student, then the student is asking us the same thing. And we're like, okay, we gotta work on that connection. So it just kind of helps us as well when it comes to talking to the students and the parents together, that we're all on the same page.
The class is set up for 10 classes, so 10 different lessons. When we did it before, we did more of when we've done it before, we did maybe 5 or 6 weeks, just to kind of do it as a pilot program. But if it's done the whole program, it's 10 weeks, and they would come each one day a week. I remember when the first time we did it, and a lot of the parents showed up with notebooks and pens, and I was so impressed with that. I was like, oh, wow, we're going to really have class. And they said, well, we've heard from our students that we're going to learn. So it was a great opportunity, though. And I was surprised the first week we had maybe 30 parents, and I was so impressed with that. I thought, this is amazing. And every week they would bring friends. And so I think at one point we ended up with like 70 some parents there that night. So it was really great. And so I know that there's a need for it, and I know that the parents really want it. So I'm actually conducting some research using that model, and hopefully getting that into place in a formal way in the Panhandle as well. I mean, I really think that the parent engagement piece is key in working with Latinos, because these students do very, very rarely make their decisions on their own. And Alma, maybe you could talk about that. So as a young Hispanic student, what your process for getting to college looked like.
I was getting into college, or starting to apply to college. It wasn't really, like, in my household, we didn't really talk about it, whether I was going to go to college or not. It was kind of just expected out of us that we were going to go to college. But there was never like the sit down talk about, hey, we have maybe a college fund or this or that. But that usually college funds aren't really, in Latino households, they're not really there. Like they kind of don't exist, because a lot of the Latino parents want their students or their children to get a degree. But a lot of the times they want them to get a short degree, something that they're going to be able to get it in within 2 years and get out. Don't have to stay in the whole 4 years. So that's one of the big things when it comes to Latino families, that, I mean, they do want their kids to get that degree, but they want it to be a short time, like a short degree, even a certification, but it has to be something short, because they do start questioning, well, why do you want to do the whole 4 years? For example, my younger sister, she wanted to major in art history, and the only colleges that have that available that she was looking at, the only one in Oklahoma was the University of Oklahoma, and then she was looking at one in Denver, Colorado, which was really expensive, and she was going to be paying out of state. And my parents, they're like, well, why do you want to go into that? Why do you have to go so far away, which is 4 hours from Guyman, and go study that when you can just come to OPSU like I did and get another degree? So there was that struggle, her trying to explain to them, like, yes, OPSU is right there, but unfortunately what I want to study is not there. It's not available there. So I have to go somewhere else. So when it came to me, I did come to OPSU. I graduated from OPSU in 2017. A lot of people don't know, but it did take me 6 years to graduate just because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't in the Upward Bound program, so I didn't know what exactly was needed, how, like the whole process when it comes to applying, getting scholarships, working on FAFSA. I had to figure that all out on my own. I have an older sister, and once she graduated high school, she just got a job, and she didn't actually further her studies. So I was the first one coming to college. I had to figure that all out on my own. So it's between my younger sister and myself, it's been really different because once I started working as a residential advisor for Upward Bound, I told her about the program. I was like, hey, you should really try and join this program. It's really great. You get paid. You don't have anything else going on. Like, it's a great way to be involved in something as well. And since during the school year, I would work as a tutor with the students, I would be able to like take her home. She wouldn't have to get a ride from somewhere else or have to wait for somebody to pick her up since we lived out in the country. So she was able to take advantage of the program, and through the program, she was able to eventually get to OU and study what she wanted to study.
It goes back to somewhat of the feminismo. What we see a lot with Latinos is, number one, they do not like to take loans. So they will come for a semester and then they'll take a semester off to pay, and they'll work. So what might take 4 years, it might take them 6 to 8 years because they're doing it stop in, stop out as they can afford to pay it, because they're very, very well known for wanting to pay cash and not take loans. That's part of it. Another part is because these students are expected to be a contributing member of their family, sometimes things come up and they have to drop out just to take care of, family bills, that kind of thing. And again, a lot of it is just maybe not so much prepared as well as they could be, which is why Upward Bound is such a great program. It helps them to be better prepared so that they know what to expect when they get there. And then we have to have a lot more resources for when they are on campus to keep them. So it's the retention piece that we're really needing to focus on as well. With our Upward Bound students, it is almost mandatory that we do that for all the students that are eligible. We do it. So in the summer, the Upward Bound students are on campus with us for 5 weeks. And so during that course of 5 weeks, we will sit down with them and make sure that they have applied for that. So that's very important. Another piece that we didn't really talk about is the undocumented students. So undocumented students are not eligible for Oklahoma's Promise. They were at one time, but the legislation has since changed. So we really work hard on that piece to try to help them figure out how will they pay for college, because they are not eligible for financial aid. Now, because of Oklahoma's law, they can come to college and they can pay in-state tuition, but they cannot get any kind of financial aid. They can get all of the outside scholarships as they, as they're able to. And we do work with them on that to kind of help them figure out outside resources. But that's another important piece that we don't really talk about. And that's another service that we provide for DACA, what they call them DACA, which is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. So students who came as children with their parents, they can apply for this 2-year permit. And so we work on that a lot and do the renewals so that they can still work while they're paying for college.